name's Evelyn Dawn, and welcome to my first ever makeup YouTube video. So first we're going to be using the Wet n Wild Coverall Primer, and we're going to put this all over our face, but I do my eyebrows first, because unlike most people in the makeup community, I do my eyebrows, then my eyeshadow, and then my foundation. So I like to make sure my primer's nice and rubbed in, so making sure that's all nice and rubbed in and everything's all nice and primed. So after I've done putting my primer on, I like to set my primer so it makes my foundation last more throughout the day. So I'm using e.l.f. the Photo HD finishing powder and then some Coty Airspun powder on top of that. So now I'm spraying the Mario Badescu facial spray with rose water into my Milani Dip Brow in dark brown. The reason I do this is because my dip brow has dried out, which is kind of sad, but it can be revived and it does work pretty well in my opinion this way as well, so no loss. I apologize for having to put my glasses on and me throughout this video getting in and out of focus or being washed out. It's the first time I've had this problem in my videos, live streams in general, so I do apologize for that. I do take a hot minute to do my eyebrows. It will take me around 8 to 15 minutes just to do them because I am a big perfectionist when it comes with them, so they have to be good and up to my standard, or I'm taking my makeup off and we ain't going throughout the day with them. So now I'm taking my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 15 Fair, and I'm just gonna clean up my brow edges because I'm not gonna lie, this one I drew on at first was a bit atrocious, so we gotta clean her up, make her nice and presentable. And this is what I mean by it takes me a hot minute to do my eyebrows, because I will sit there and clean them up as long as I can, trying to make them nice and good, because I either have a certain style, I either want the brow arches nice and sharp or nice and rounded out, and today I was trying to round them out, so it was taking me a bit longer to clean up the top because I'd either clean them up not enough or a little too much, so I do apologize for me sitting here for a good amount of this video trying to clean up my eyebrows. But you know, they looked good, so I don't have any regrets. It's my motto. I mean, look at that. She's so pretty. So here's another weird thing I do. I like to bake my brows to make sure they stay out through the day and also to lighten them a bit. So I'm using the first highlight shade from the Pro Vision Pro Contour palette, and I'm going to throw them on there. And now I'm taking the CoverGirl Professional Mascara, and I'm using that to set my eyebrow hairs. Next we're taking my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer once again to prime my lids, and I'm just going to blend it out with my Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. So after she's nice and blended out, we're taking my e.l.f. Perfect HD Finish Powdering once again, and I'm going to quickly press that into my eyelids and my eyebrows with a powder puff. Make sure they're nice and good. Brush off the extra. Don't want them floating around. So now I'm setting my face with the Mario Badescu facial spray with rose water once again. And now it's time to do some eyes. So the first shade I'm taking is Adago from the Balm Jovi palette to use that to set my eyeshadow primer once again. Next we're taking Allegro, also from the Balm Jovi palette, and we're going to throw that right in the crease. So we're going to take Allegro all throughout the crease, making sure she's nice and blended up to my brow bone, looking nice, blended out. I'm going to also use my finger in some of these clips to help further blend them out, so I'm not sitting there roughing out my eyes with the brush all the time. Next we're taking Warm Taupe from the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and we're going to throw that on the lower part of the crease, so not exactly the crease where we just put in Allegro, but a little bit lower down so we have more of a dimension. And I'm going to warn that I do like putting a hot amount of different eyeshadows in my eyeshadow look, so I'm warning y'all now. So next we're going to be taking Cherry Cola from Makeup Geek. We're going to be throwing that into the outer V of our eye, blending it into the outer crease a little. Again, dimension. It's a common theme. And you'll see me keep dipping back into it because I like a gradient sort of look with my eyeshadows, so you'll see later on how I'd go from a really dark color into a lighter one. While I was blabbing, I noticed I was dipping into Venetian Red, also from the Modern Renaissance palette, to help warm up my crease colors, because I'm starting to realize it's not warm enough for me. And here's where my gradient look's coming in. So we're going to be taking Cypress Umber, also from the Modern Renaissance palette, and throwing that into the outer corner. We're going to be slowly adding a lot, because I didn't want to put too much on and realize I didn't like it, so it's better to start off with a small amount and go from there. Blending her up and out, making sure it's all good. Now I'm taking a small lip brush in my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and I'm using that to cut out the first half of my eyelid to kind of do a half cut crease. So now we're taking that first highlight shade from the Pro Vision Pro Contour palette to set that newly concealed area of my eyelid. Now we're taking Red Ochre from the Modern Renaissance palette to help blend out Cherry Cola and that highlight shade, giving a nice blending gradient look. Coming back in with Cypress Umber once again to darken the outer corners, because once again, they're not dark enough for me or my liking, so gotta go until you love it, or you hate it and you start crying halfway through your makeup and take it off. But we all have our days. Everybody makes mistakes. Blending, blending, blending. There's nothing I stress more than making sure you're nice and blended, because I leave some days unblended and I want to cry. So now we're putting on foundation. I'm using a Wet n Wild foundation brush with Maybelline's Fit Me concealer in 125 Nude Beige, and I'm putting that all over. Can't stop till you get enough. Whoa. And I am one for cake face. I do love putting it on. So you'll start to notice that as I keep putting on foundation. It doesn't stop until I'm like, okay, maybe that's a little too much. And I am a perfectionist, so you'll see me go into the top of my brows with that brush, see if I can get it as close as I can without messing up my brows, and then making sure it's blended down my neck, because we ain't out here to wear a mask. We're out here to stunt on everybody, make everyone wish they could be us, but they can't. It's good though. We're looking great out here. So now I'm taking my Real Techniques beauty sponge once again to help even out, smooth out my foundation. While I do love the Wet n Wild brush, it does kind of leave a streaky effect, but it's easily solved by just going over it with a sponge. So it's an easy solve for a good prize. We're taking, once again, Maybelline Fit Me concealer all over. Not all over, don't do that. That's not a good look. So I take it down the sides of my nose in a curved shape on my cheekbones. I don't like the harsh V that a lot of people do. It doesn't suit my face type. That's what I've learned. And here I go, like a kid in a coloring book. We just going for it. Taking our Real Technique beauty sponge once again, blending out those edges, making sure we looking good. Because remember, blending is key. And I'm going in once again with the concealer to help brighten my under eye again, because I mistakenly woke up at 5 a.m. to record this video, and I was feeling it by 5:45. So hit or miss, hit or miss. So now we're taking the first two highlight shades from the Pro Contour palette, and we're gonna set it with the powder puff. I don't know. I don't like setting my foundation with the beauty sponge. I feel like it just cakes it on a little too much, which is coming from someone who said they love cake face. So, but the powder puff does push it into your skin like the beauty sponge would, without kind of melting it into your makeup. Just not something I enjoy. So now we're going, I do a small dot on the tip of my nose bridge, and then a little weird 3-horn thing on my forehead, and of course, my Cupid's bow. Gotta make our lips good. And my already pointed out chin, but hey, she out here, let's accept her. And we're highlighting once again with probably the first highlight shade from the Pro Contour palette, because predictable. So now I'm baking my highlighted parts of the face, so my under eye, my forehead, my nose bridge, my Cupid's bow, and my chin. So here I am smoking out the under eye. I'm using red ochre. Now we're going to be using Cypress Under to help blend out that outer V of my eye and the lower lash line, which is a cute look. I don't know, I liked it. Now we're brushing off all that excess baking powder. Can't leave it on too long or it just gets a little wild. Take the Mario Badescu Skincare Facial Spray once again to help set my face. I've never seen people use this as a setting spray, but I love it as a setting spray. It helps like bind everything together and makes it look nice. So for a change, we're not using the first 2 highlight shades from the Pro Vision Pro Contour palette. We're now using the 2 contour shades. And I'm just going in, contouring my face, my forehead, my chin, and I took a powder puff and some Cotillard spun powder and I set it underneath my cheekbones to help give them a more sharper look. Here I am struggling to open my Elizabeth Mott What Up Beaches bronzer. I absolutely love this bronzer, and I got it in an Ipsy bag, so I love her. So now we're spraying the Mario Badescu Skincare Facial Spray on a brush, and we're taking Milani Bella Champagne into that inner corner. I love the gel eyeshadows, the gel powder eyeshadows from Milani. They're just great. They stay on and they're really pigmented, foiled or not foiled. Remember kids, drink your water, helps your skin and your body. So now we're taking the Wet n Wild highlighting powder in shade Precious Petals. I apologize. And I'm going ham on this. Go big or go home. That's something I just came up with, because I'm a fool. I'm a fool for you. So we're hitting the obvious spots: cheekbone, Cupid's bow. I put a top on my nose bridge and the point of my nose. I don't know. I don't like contouring my nose. It doesn't feel good. And so now I'm pressing the highlighter into my cheeks, because if you do it, it helps intensify the glow. So it's always a good plus. We're now taking a small brush and some Wet n Wild Mega Glow on our brow bone, because you gotta glow everywhere. Not gonna lie, I put it on my ears too. Shout out to Bretman Rock. We glowing everywhere. And we finally coming in for the inner corners. Cupid's bow once again, can't neglect her. I do come up on those little ridges there. And we're setting our face with the Hard Candy Fast and Fabulous setting spray. My nozzle on this one's kind of janky. It's what I've noticed with these kind of bottles. You either have really good nozzles and they spray fabulous, and I've had a couple where it only sprays out in a certain direction and you're not expecting it at all. So it's a good setting spray. It's just the nozzles can be hit and miss. So I'm now using a homemade sugar scrub to exfoliate my lips, and now we're taking the NYX Liquid Matte shade in Copenhagen. I absolutely love this color, but I would advise putting a lip liner underneath, because as I started to realize halfway through the day, as you try to reapply and everything, she starts to get streaky and patchy, and she looks cute when you first put her on, and she just slowly starts going downhill after your 4th coat and you've removed her, and she starts clinging to all the crumbly bits in the middle of your lips. So yeah, be prepared when you wear her. She's out here not to play. She's out here to come for your lips and snatch up all the moisture.